video, I'll be telling you all about form input validation. Before getting into the coding part, first let's see how can we make this input validation. This is just a demo of that project. So let me type here some letters along with some space. Okay. Now you can just say as soon as I've written here coder in, or let me write here some Dev Smith, you can just see no error has been highlighted. But as soon as I use some numbers, or in fact if I use some special characters, it shows me an error. It shows me that numbers or special characters not allowed. So this is the input text validation. Now the second part is going to be the password field. So suppose if you are given a choice that you need to make a password which contains some uppercase letter, some lowercase or small letter, special characters, and number. And if this thing does not satisfy, it will, or the form submission will not be completed. So let's see. You can just see the colors will get highlighted. Suppose I am using one uppercase letter. Okay, it's showing here red progress bar, and the uppercase letter sign changes to green color. Now let me use small letter. What about this? The numbers are being highlighted, and let me use some special characters. So upon completion of all the um, rules, like the uppercase, the small, the special, as well as the numbers, it shows me a success progress bar. So guys, in this thing form, I'll be showing you the JavaScript part because the entire form is given with CSS. If you want the CSS, please mention in the comment box. I'll give you in the description link. And this tutorial focuses only on JavaScript. Okay, so guys, let's get started. First, let me delete all the app.js, and this is the sorry, this is the form, right? And I have already linked my app.js. So first thing first, I'm using username. This is the ID. Okay. First, let me work on this name part. So let me create document dot get element by ID, and let me write this the ID name, that is the user name. Please make sure that you should select this the correct username. Okay. Now the second thing is that we need to add an event listener. Add event listener. So as soon as you as soon as somebody click on this particular thing, it should be an key up, key down listener. But the best possible way for this is to be used on input listener. So user name dot add event listener input, and we are passing an event for this. So event dot prevent default. Okay. Now the main importance of this function is that we need to fetch that particular value which the username input text box contains. So let me create another variable known as user value, and I'll be using this thing user name dot value. Alright. Now the next thing, and this is the most important thing, is that once we are entering only letters, right? It can be small letter, it can be capital letter, and we also need a space in between the two first name and the last name or the middle name. So how can this be possible in JavaScript? The best possible way is to use regex expression. These are the most handful way in which one can validate either your email, your input name, or your password field. So let's see. Let u pattern in order to tell that this is a regex pattern. What is the thing? A to Z, small case, A to Z, caps lock, and a space along with this. It means that one or more occurrences of this particular thing. Now let user result equals to user value, what value we are fetching, dot search. We are searching whether that particular user value consists of this pattern or not. Right? It's very simple. You are using user value, searching that particular user value against this particular user pattern. Now let me show you console.log, right, user result. Okay, now let me go to the screen here. First let me inspect this value. Okay, now just see. As soon as I enter number, you can just see showing 0, 0, 0, this is showing me 0. As soon as I hit some numbers, the value changes in the console. So special characters, the value changes. So the best possible way is to tell if my user result is equals to 0. Alright. If my user result is equals to 0, then it is fine. There is no problem. But if I am just show you, if user result is greater than 0, then document dot get element by ID, and let me go here. There is an ID here inside the span tag. I'll be highlighting this error. So the ID name was name error dot inner HTML, and I'll be using here number or special characters are not allowed. If it is not greater than 0, I need not display anything, right? It will be simple. Just see this in HTML equals to this. So I hope so guys, this is the first part. So let's rerun this project. As soon as I'm writing here AY space 56, you can just see number or special characters are not allowed. Let me start with something other. Okay. Let me start with the special character. Space. You can just see the same thing is being highlighted. Okay. Now let's move on to the password field. So let's see. For the password field, I have already assigned an ID to the text input text. Actually, I'm using a password. So I'm using an ID of password. So let user password equals to document dot get element by ID and password. Okay. Now the same thing will be repeated for user password only. But the regex expressions for the password gets changed. So let's say, okay, let me write down for so problem with the caps lock for password field. Okay. Now user password dot user password dot add event listener. The same thing will be here also. Input event. Now event dot event default. Okay. Now the first thing is first we need to check whether the input entered by a user is an uppercase, lowercase, special characters or numbers. So for this we'll be using and regex expression. Suppose I'm doing here up pattern. As the name suggests, we are checking for uppercase pattern. Okay. So let me file this thing here. Question mark dot asterisk will be doing here A to Z. Okay. So guys, I'm telling you, if somebody is using a uppercase letter at A to Z more than one occurrence, this up pattern will let me show me that I've already entered some uppercase letters. So for this, I need to find the fetch actually the password value. So it will be user password dot value, right? Okay. Now let upper result equals to pass value dot same function but up pattern. Okay. Now console dot log up present. Now let's see whether it's working or not. So as soon as I'm hitting it's working right. I'm using uppercase letter, it is showing me 0. Okay, fine. Now let me compare this thing with low pattern means lowercase letter. So the same thing guys, the very easy way. It will be A to Z. Okay. Now let low result equals to, let me copy this thing and here we'll be writing here low pattern. Okay. Now let me write here low result. So once again I'm using some low letter. Okay, low pattern is not recognized. Okay, sorry, there's a illegal naming of variable. Okay, now even this it's working, right? It's working. Just local. Now, what is the second thing we need to do? Whether it's a number, okay, let num pattern equals to this question mark equals to dot asterisk 0 to 9. Okay. Now let num res equals to pass value dot search num pattern. Okay. Num res. Okay. Let's say I'm entering a number. You can just see it's showing 0. Hence the result is positive. Now let me go with this special character. Let let SQL pattern equals to this. So I am writing here dot asterisk, and if it's a non-digit, I can use caps lock of W. So let special res equals to pass value dot search of special pattern. So let me refresh this thing. SQL res. So as soon as I'm hitting the special character, it is working. Now, as soon as I have completed all the required parameters, I need to highlight this thing. So if subres is equals to 0, I need to come here to the main form, and I'm just set here ID of up UPP. So what are we doing here? Document dot get element by ID up dot style dot color to be as green. Okay, else let me copy this one. It will be suppose I'm doing here black. Actually, if you not write also, it will come. If you will not write this thing, it will work. So let me run this thing. Suppose I'm entering an uppercase letter. Okay, document dot get element by ID style. Okay, maybe color. You people yes. Okay, document dot okay. Guys, it is working. Right? So let me check with this color. So I think so it should be this. Style dot color. Okay, fine. There was some syntax problem. So you can just say as soon as I hit an uppercase letter, that particular letter has been highlighted. So now, similarly, let me first delete this thing. As soon as I delete this, let me copy this thing and let me write here. There should be no color. Suppose I'm using this. Okay, now it returns back to its normal. Similarly, let me copy this thing and write here low result is 0 and set the ID. So hello W E R and hello W E R. Now let me copy this thing once again. Mhm. Now it should be num, and for here I use num. So get element by ID num else num. So this is now this is the last part. It will be special and the ID for this is special SPL and SPL. Okay guys, now let's take this thing. First I will be using a small letter A. You can just see the small letter has been highlighted. Now AD, uppercase letter has been highlighted. Now use some numbers. Numbers have been highlighted and special characters. Okay guys, the particular special characters has been highlighted. Now we need to set a progress bar. It's very easy. So let me go here. There is an ID known as pass error. We'll be working on it. Okay. Before that, let with equal to 0. Okay. Now if upper okay. Now if uppercase is positive means we have already got that value. So we'll be initializing plus equals to 15. Okay. Now if lower is this, we'll be initializing this. Now number same thing, and now this. Okay. Now this. Okay. So just let me log this at this end for print of width. Now just keep on looking at the console. If I'm hit enter, uppercase, the small case 30, special characters 45, and numbers 60. That's all. So document dot get element by ID pass error dot style dot width equals to percent of width width plus percentage. Okay, let's see. It has come here. Okay, now let me check this thing one second. Okay, now document dot get element by ID pass error dot style dot background color background color equals to green. Now let's go ahead. This pattern you can just see the color is being highlighted. Okay, special characters and number. So let me reduce the width to 10. Okay, 10. But now we have to give some conditions to it. If path in of width is greater than 9 and part in of width is less than equals to 30, then we'll be using the same thing, but instead of green, we'll be using red. So the thing is R, caps lock, special characters, and numbers. You can just say the thing has been in green color. So this is the way how you can make input validation. Okay guys, let me just show you another thing. As I've received much more requests from all of the friends that they want to toggle this switch in JavaScript. So let's say, suppose I have given here another form group and input type equals to text. Okay, let's say, okay, so value show password. Here, let's say here, okay, okay, okay. Now value input type text. So value is the password on click show password. Okay, let's show password and show password. Fine. So let me work on this thing. Let me go here. Function show password. Now we have to guess if user password dot type is equals to password user password dot type equals to text. Okay, let's say suppose I enter here something. You can just as soon as I click on this thing, it show me the password. But else user password dot type equals to password. Okay guys. Now as soon as I type something, it is showing me the password. But as soon as I remove this, it comes to the password string. So guys, this is all about form input validation. If you like my tutorial, please share, subscribe, comment, and if you want to use the file, please let me know. I'll be posting in the comment section. Thank you guys.